Hello again, it's me, guy with YouTube channel, right? Anyways, long story short, GFET. In case you're wondering, the next few reviews on my channels are going to be GFest related reviews. They'll be reviews of all the figures I got in order of how I got them. So anyways, let's start off with the first figure I got at this year's GFest, Rodan 1956. This is the original 89 release. I don't have the tag for this guy, so we'll just get straight into the detail. This can focus. There we go, kind of. You can kind of make it out, I don't know. The resolution on the videos when they upload to YouTube is never really that good for some reason, at least with me, but you can see there's a lot of nice detail. Gold sprays on his toenails, carries over onto his feet. He has the trademark Neca Godzilla 1984 super elongated toenail for no reason, but it's not that big of a deal on this figure, only barely larger. But yeah, you can see there's a lot of nice detail. His legs, very armored looking. Going up to there, we got this sort of part of his wing on his legs, which isn't connected, so it looks kind of odd. Yeah, you can see there's some gold spray on his chest armor, I guess. I don't really know if you would call it armor on an organic thing. See the wings, there's a really nice texture there. Sort of leathery, skin-like, maybe even hairy-looking texture. And then there's a more kind of armored, I'm just gonna say armored or scaled-looking texture here. Let's see, fingernails, they're pretty nice. They are actually kind of sharp, and the toenails too, but not really. The fingernails are really the sharpest thing on this figure, and they are gold. And then coming up to the neck, you can see there's a lot of nice detail on there. Focus, about, and you can see the head. That is unmistakably 56 Rodan. You can see the beak goes back to his head. The eyes are just black. There's gold on his beak. The beak is kind of pointy, but not really. You're not really going to do any harm with this guy. And the horns are dull as ever. Dull as can be. The YMSF one has sharp horns, but I don't know, this guy is just more unique, I guess. And on the back, you can see there's a nice, more detail. You can see the more detail there. I'm not even speaking correctly. Yeah, you can see this texture on his wings, continues on to here, on his back. And you can see there's this really weird looking gold spray with two green sprays. I kind of like that. I just really like that metallic green color, although why it's on Rodan, I don't know. I can see, and then there's this little flap tail thing, which is pretty smooth. And also, he has big high heels. I guess his feet, or at least they look like high heels. I don't know why. So that's it for detail. Now for articulation, this guy is very hard vinyl, so you're not gonna get a whole lot out of it. The head can turn a little bit. Can't go 360. It's like Fire Rodan's neck joint, where it's like a clip-shaped thing that just fits into the joint and then fits around his wings. So regardless of how hard you turn this, you're not going to get it to go 360. And when you do go to turn the head a little bit, don't move it at here. Grab it by the base of the neck and turn it, or else you'll snap off the beak and horns, and you don't want to do that. That'll damage the figure. And the wings, they can kind of wiggle a little bit. Can we just focus? There we go. Yeah, they can kind of move in and out a little bit, kind of wiggle. I know a lot of other Bandai winged characters had the wings in there kind of loose, that you can kind of flap them up and down a little bit. With this guy, you can feel them moving and kind of see them wiggling, and they can also move a little bit forward and back, but not really. There's another release of this guy that's soft vinyl, which that one you can probably get it to go. Now, can we stand it? Can you? Okay. Okay, now on to sizing. Here he is with my only Showa Godzilla. Well, actually, I take that back. My second only Showa Godzilla. The other one I have is Godzilla 1954. Obviously, he was never with any monsters. So here is my only real, technically, Showa Godzilla that goes with other monsters. The Memorial Box Godzilla 1975, which this is okay. Whoa, Jesus, I just knocked over another figure. Godzilla should be about there with Rodan, so it's not really that accurate, but they still look good together. And you know, if you want to do something with them in like a movie or something, you can do that. Next, here is the 1992 reissue Mothra Larva, 1964 A version, because it doesn't have the red eyes. And these two look good together. So, you know, if we put Mothra on Rodan's back, this is accurate to when in Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, when she was on Rodan's back shooting Silk at Ghidorah. So this is accurate, even though, which is good, because these two were originally released alongside one another, although this Mothra is a reissue. And next, for a more destroy all monsters type scenario thing, here is the YMSF Minya. These two were never on screen together, but, you know, just to show you how big they look. Minya probably should be about that big. It's a little small of a figure. Next, here's, just for shits and giggles, the Bandai Showa Gamera Memorial Box version. Again, this is just a for shits and giggles thing. Pretty sure Gamera should be like that big. But, you know, they still look good together, and you know what, we'll just leave Rodan on the ground there. Next, here we have an Imago Mothra, the Bandai Mothra 1992. He's a little hard to get in frame, which this I would say is accurate. I mean, just going off of how big the 64 Mothra was. Although obviously I don't think we ever saw Rodan with, or in the same movie with, an Imago Mothra other than Final Wars, which that's completely different Mothra. Or completely different design. Next, rather than pull out Anguirus like you would expect, I don't even have Anguirus, so here's Bandai Creation King Caesar for a more Final Wars type thing, even though they're both their original first appearance Showa versions. And as you can see, this is not accurate. King Caesar should be a little bit bigger, but this figure's a little bit too small. Next, here's the Bandai 1992 8-inch Fire Rodan. Not 1992, 1993. Yeah, just to give you a comparison, just to see how different these two are from each other. Because, you know, I'm pretty sure Fire Rodan should be bigger, way bigger than this Rodan. Next, again, for a more Final Wars type sizing, here he is with Final Wars Gigan. Which I would say this is accurate. I mean, again, these two were never on screen together. But yeah, you know, just for a more Final Wars looking thing. And it's good to know there's a figure that looks okay with this figure in terms of sizing. I mean, this figure's awesome. Next, here is the figure you've seen in every review of mine. My repainted Bandai Creation Final Wars Rodan. As you can see, this guy is a fairly tall figure. He's taller than the standard Bandai Japan Final Wars Rodan, and 56 Rodan is bigger, so yeah, it kind of gives you an idea of how big this guy is. And well, he still doesn't have the bigger wingspan that goes to Final Wars. Yeah, you can see there's the two together, or in fight or something. I don't know, they're your figures. You do what you want with them. I'm not the one paying for them. Next, here's Bandai 8-inch Paragon. This is inaccurate unless you're going for the idea of two guys in suits. One is crouching slightly, but if you're going for 30-meter Paragon and over 50-meter Rodan, this isn't very accurate. But again, like I said, unless you want to be two guys in suits, one guy is squatting. Next, here is just a standard Bandai Ultra Hero Series Ultraman figure, Ultraman powered, and I think powered and Rodan are supposed to be the same size, but Rodan is still slightly taller, so poopity whoopity dee. I don't even know what I just said there. And finally, the final three figures you've always seen, just like repainted Rodan that you already saw. The Neca 6-inch Godzilla 2014. This is not in any way accurate. Rodan should be probably up to like there, maybe about waist high, a little smaller than this Godzilla's waist. Next, here is the Rodan fail. Next, here is the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 1995 Rebirth version. Again, as a standard Monster Arts figure. I know not all of you have this, but some of you might have the Burning Godzilla version, which is the same figure. But yeah, as you can see, inaccurate sizing. You should be up to Godzilla's waist, but this is just a sizing to give you an idea of what the two are like together and always standing. Finally, here is just a standard Pacific Rim Kaiju axe head, and as you can see, Rodan is a pretty tall figure. He almost comes up to axe head. So, yeah. Good for you, Rodan. Now on to the final part of the review. This review seems like it's been really short. The history of the figure and the pricing. This figure was originally released in 1989 as part of the 8-inch line, and this is the original 89 release. That's what I was told by the person who I bought it from, because this came from their personal collection, and it was then reissued again in 1992 along with various other 8-inch figures. This is a 1992 release, but this mold originated in 89. And the differences between this one and the 92 version, there's not really that many I could spot. This one says 1989 on the foot. I'm not sure if it says that on the reissue, because my Mothra Larva says 1992, and this was originally released in 89. So I'm not really sure if they did change the date stamp on this figure for his reissue. They may have, because, if they changed it for Mothra, then they would have changed it for the other figures. And the other differences, I think the gold is a little brighter, and the gold on the beak is a little more heavily sprayed on. He still has this green and gold thing on his back. And the mold was used one final time, again in 1995, for the 40th anniversary memorial box, and that one is the easiest to decipher from them all. It's made of a darker vinyl, or darker brown, softer, and it's soft vinyl, so you can actually move the joints, and has just more silvery, dull spray, and doesn't have this on his back. And in terms of the pricing, nowadays, he's kind of an uncommon figure, and I kind of see him pretty pricey at times. I've seen him range from about 60 to 80 bucks. I got this at G-Fest for $35, and he's in okay condition. And the person I bought it from said this came from their personal collection, so that's how they confirmed it was the original 89 release. So he's kind of a pricey figure, and in terms of rating, I'm going to give this figure an 8 out of 10. It's a good figure, and I'd recommend you get it, or maybe get the YMSF version, but it's just a little too big, and, well, honestly, there's not a whole lot he does other than stand there. But then again, if you're a serious collector, that's really all your figures are gonna do. So I'm dragging this review out, so Shermama Jamo, it means I accidentally ate the whole thing.